Yo, what's the deal? You already know who it is. I'm on asharenu. We back up in here. And I just have a simple question. Cause it's about 1 a.m. over here in the desert in the West Coast. And I don't usually make videos around this time. But I see you. There's people are actually up in here. Uh, I just want to briefly talk about the energy of the lunar eclipse. Because as you see right now, I'm up. Normally, I don't do videos at this time. I'll probably be somewhere knocked out, but there's no sleeping around here today. So I'm just making a video just seeing, has anybody else experienced the shifts in energy? What's up, Dizzy? What's the deal? Y'all already know some people just don't get no type of sleep. Well, yeah, I'm thinking it's time to really go super, super hard in terms of just being up. Letting that energy generate. When you are sleep deprived, you are generating more energy. So things appear, when you in that in between state, trying to stay up, but you going in and out of a trance state. It's a very, very magical moment or magical moments. When you're able to maintain your consciousness even though you are asleep. What are you supposed to feel? It's gonna be different for everybody. It's gonna be different from everybody. This on a daily basis, because again, we got the lunar eclipse going on, but it's also a full moon itself. So every full moon has a particular type of feel, just like every new moon has a particular type of feel. So for those who may be new to working with the energies of the moon, you may not understand these concepts. But whenever there's a full moon, it's all about releasing energy. Whenever there's a new moon, it's all about gathering in new energy. So because we're dealing with the full moon, this is all about cleansing and detox and being able to transmute that energy that you have gathered up. And now you're using it for a different purpose. So you're able to disperse that energy now. So it's not necessarily a particular feeling that everybody should be feeling. Some people, it's just going to be a regular day, nothing special. But for other people, just depending on what frequency you tapped into, that's going to determine what you're feeling. So it's different. It's different for everybody. Again, it all depends on how attuned you are to, the subatomic reality, or you want to call it the quantum reality, the spiritual world, or the astral plane, your sud, whatever you want to call it. So it's going to be different for everybody. But for me, just for me speaking for myself, again, you see me, I'm up. It's 1 a.m. over here. I'm not going to sleep no time soon. So what's up, Lunar? Definitely feeling it. You already know. So I'm just thinking, I'm like, all right, since I'm up, I might as well be constructive with my time. It's no point of just, being up for no reason, not being constructive. So I'm like, yeah, let me put out a video. Let me check in on the audience. I usually don't go live around this time, so why not connect with the audience that I usually, don't usually connect with, because, I'm doing videos maybe 12 hours before this. Yeah, so I usually do videos maybe around noon, sometimes a little bit earlier. Becca's feeling it as well. See, I see. Like, I didn't expect anybody to even be live during this time. So the fact that it's actually people watching that's already up, I'm like, man. So it ain't just me, apparently. I thought I was just gonna be talking to myself. What's up, EMS girl? Yeah, I remember that name. I haven't seen you in a while, but I believe you're in a different schedule than I am. But again, I'm like, yeah, let me reach out to all the people that's on a different whole different plane of thinking. All my people in the UK. All my people who's on whole different scales of thought and time. Are there any meditations? Are you doing any meditation for the full moon or moon gazing? Well, my meditations are going to be centered upon. Well, you know me. It's all about wisdom for me. For other people it may be different, but for me, I'm all about that wisdom. So all the information that you see me putting out, in the past, present, and the future. This is what I do. So I just, I'm doing my best to channel in certain information, so that I can deliver it and also live it out for myself. So I'm not going to really get too in depth about what I do personally because it's never really set in stone. I don't like to have things too crystallized. I like to remain flexible. So I haven't necessarily planned a particular ritual to do. I'm just more so just being open to feeling the energy. But again, this is why I'm up right now. I don't feel no type of tiredness or sleepiness at all. It's like I'm fully aware, I'm fully conscious as if it was 1 p.m. in the afternoon. So I feel the same type of energy. So I'm like, all right, well, this is definitely, it is a new moon. All right, I should be doing something constructive, something spiritual. So I'm like, yeah, let me reach out and connect, with the people who was already in alignment with this thought, as well as, I can do a little tarot reading and all that, if y'all really want that type of stuff. But I know that the energy is different, at this time of night or this time of day if it's daytime where you are. So I know the energy is different at this time. So just kind of, again, I'm not really used to doing too much. This is like the meditative time when you just, in meditation or you just in the house doing whatever you're doing. Yeah, so the fact that I'm actually trying to switch it up, and do this video stuff, I consider this a part of ritual, just reaching out and touching the people I usually don't, who just don't usually see me online or live. Yeah, you had the feeling to check your phone. You saw I was live. See, that's what I mean. I didn't expect to go live at this time either. This wasn't something that I planned out. Previously. I'm like, you know what? I'm up. I don't feel tired. I don't feel sleepy. Let me actually be constructive. Let me reach out. Let me touch the people. Let me see what's going on with everybody else. You know, y'all let me know if y'all want to see me more around these times. Because I can definitely make the sacrifice. So for all my late night viewers, if your schedule is different, I can definitely make more time to come live around these times. If it's enough people who would like to see me more. So y'all just let me know what y'all want. Personal tarot, meaning like I can do a tarot reading for the energy of the full moon or the lunar eclipse. If y'all want that, or we can just chop it up for a little bit. It all depends on what y'all want. How does moon gazing help? It all depends on what your intentions are. It's the same thing with sun gazing. It all depends on what you're trying to achieve. Like a reason a person would moon gaze is to build up their lunar energy or their feminine energy within their body. So if you feel like you have a little bit too much masculine energy, you're trying to balance out the feminine with the masculine. You know what I mean? That's what these times are for. And at times of the new moon, it's more about masculine energy because the energy of the moon is subsided. So this all depends. You said in the summer to be perfect, but when high school begins, I can't watch you at this time. Well, man, I got high school students watching. That's crazy. That's crazy. I didn't even think young people, especially in high school, is even tuned into this frequency because I know this is not what high schoolers are talking about or even into. Definitely not on this level. So shout out to you being up on this game early in your life. You know what I mean? Yeah, still being a teenager. Definitely get as much game as you can because you're going to need it as you progress through life. So I'm letting you know right now because I was a teenager up on game as well. So I'm letting you know right now. What I mean? Get as much information as you can and put it into a system that works for you. What I mean? Whatever resonates because this is definitely going to be something that's going to take care of you, as you progress through life if you take it seriously. Focused mind said this is your workout. Just a lot of people just at work, a lot of people just at work, tuning in. Because I know you probably can just tune in on your phone, put the headphones in, nobody really cares. So again, what I mean? Shout out to all my people who's at night, making their money, take care of their family, doing what you do. You know, ES. No, why am I saying ESM? EMS, girl. What have I been up to? Just making videos. You know what I mean? Channeling this information, making these videos, just staying mentally astute. You know, on my detox, on my fast, and I'm not smoking. You know, I'm cutting out the smoking for a minute. You know what I mean? To fully just harness the energy. So right now I'm just in spiritual or energy gathering mode. You know, and I know it's a time to cleanse. But I'm also, you know, because it's a special event, the energy, it's a lot of energies going on simultaneously. So I'm doing my best to stay in tune. Again, this is just one of my ways of reaching out, just to see what everybody else is on. Again, you know, this is a time where we can talk a little bit more casually. It doesn't have to be as serious unless y'all wanted to be serious. If y'all wanted to be serious, and we can get serious. Like I said, we could whip out the tarot cards. I can whip out some notes. You know what I mean? We can really get it in if y'all really want to get it in. You know, so y'all let me know. What's up, Moon Spirit? I don't know. I guess I'm not the only one, because I know some of y'all be watching the live streams. You know, when I'm up, you know, 12 hours from now and all that, because I'm gonna do another video. I'm just thinking, maybe I should just be in front of the camera all day. You know, just spreading this wisdom or spreading this gospel. But you know, everything is relative. You're 22. Wish you came across this stuff earlier, but it's never too late to learn. Well, you're still young. You saying it like 22 is old. I can understand if you was like 50, like, yo, I'm just now finding out about everything and I'm at my midpoint in life. Like, you was just a teenager 3 years ago. You know what I mean? You still got a ways to go. You was just a teenager a couple years ago. You know what I mean? So you don't have nothing to worry about. Like, you just fresh out of college type shit. You fresh out of college. You ain't really even really started life yet. So this is the perfect time, you know what I mean? All my people in their young 20s, definitely get up on your spirituality and make it apply to whatever it is that you're doing. You know. Can you speak on the different breathing techniques for repelling energy and drawing things to you? It's all about breathing through your right nostril versus breathing through your left nostril. You can find this information in The Amazing Secrets of the Yogi by Charles Hannell. So he talks about breathing through the right nostril, breathing through the left nostril. So if you want to charge yourself up with masculine energy, cover up your left nostril, breathe through your right. If you want to charge yourself up with feminine energy, cover up your right nostril, breathe through the left. For those who want to charge up with masculine energy, you know, that's obvious. If you want to do anything worldly, if you want to be successful at anything worldly, breathe through the right nostril, charge yourself up with masculine energy or positive energy. If you want to do anything spiritual, you charge up with the left nostril or the feminine energy, cover up the right. So it all depends on what you're trying to do. So anything spiritual, you practice breathing through the left nostril. Anything physical, practice breathing through the right nostril, and to see for yourself the different effects it has. Again, you can cover it up like this, or you can put a piece of cotton in your nose. You know what I mean? It all depends on how you want to do it. There's various techniques. Again, get the book, The Amazing Secrets of the Yogi. It goes into all type of different techniques in terms of how to switch up your breathing and the benefits and the effects of it. So I'm just giving you a little insight. But definitely check out that book if you really want to go deep into the science. All right. I've been noticing since I've been sleeping, while breathing through my nose, I've been dreaming more. Can that be the reason? Most definitely. So if you want to enhance your dreams, make sure that your left nostril is breathing when you go to sleep, which you can do by sleeping on your right side. So when you sleep on your right side, then it naturally opens up your left nostril. So whenever you want to do any type of dream work, any type of astral work, definitely sleep on your right side, which causes your left nostril to breathe, or just do it naturally. Again, cover up the right so the left can breathe. However you want to do it. So again, any spiritual work, any dream work, any astral work, make sure you're breathing through the left nostril. You know, so it all depends on how hard you want to go in it. Because feminine or the more negative energy you have charged up, you can retain your consciousness as you go through the different dimensions. So that's all spiritual work or feminine work. As we have positive and negative energy, and they both serve their own purpose. So you want to use a positive energy when it serves a purpose. You want to use a negative energy when it serves a purpose. You know what I mean? So go, do the experiments. Try it out for yourself. Definitely, like I said before, definitely work with the water element during this full moon time. Sleep with a cup of water or a bowl of water under your bed or above your head. You know what I mean? Cleanse your house. Use sea salt. Cleanse your house of any negative energy because it's all about cleansing. So cleanse your whole house. Salt. Get some salt. You can get salt from the dollar store. Get some salt or some sea salt. Sprinkle it on your carpet or your hardwood floor, whatever you're working with. Sprinkle it. Let it sit for like a whole day, 6 hours maybe. Then vacuum it up or sweep it up, sweep it out the house. Because salt absorbs all the negative energy. So, if you want to cleanse your home of any negative energy, sprinkle that salt around, you know. So definitely connect with the water element as well as the earth element. So just put some things out there. All right. Last time was a full moon. I charged up some amethyst under the moon. The next night I slept with them under my pillow. I was able to lucid dream. Definitely. So if you are a person that work with crystals, definitely charge your crystals up under the full moonlight. Definitely, and it definitely enhanced the lunar energy because that's charging it up with lunar energy or negative energy. So when you sleep with it above your head, then of course it's going to give you access to that lunar energy. So for all my crystal workers, definitely charge your crystals up, with the full moon. It doesn't have to necessarily be this full moon, just any full moon or any night with moonlight. When the moon is shining, definitely charge your crystals up with lunar energy, and definitely they will enhance any spiritual work. Definitely. What are some basic ways to work with demons and others? All right, for all my dark lords out there, it all depends on how courageous you are. Like if you're really trying to work with some sinister energy, some dark energy, then you're gonna have to do some things that's considered sinister. Again, all things are neutral. There's no good, bad, positive, negative. All things are neutral. But again, demons like sacrifices. They like blood. They like energy. Right? Don't view demons as lower dimensional beings. View them as fourth dimensional beings. Because they have a perspective over time that we don't. We view time as linear on a 24-hour clock. They see the celestial cycles. That's what gives them access to information that we may not have access to. So if you're trying to work with darker forces, again, it's all about, you have to go to dark places. You got to go into a cave. You got to go into abandoned buildings. You got to go places where you can find some type of solitude, where it's not a lot of people around. You got to go into the dark woods. You got to go into the dark forests. You got to go places where it's not too many people around. So you got to isolate yourself. Then when you isolate yourself, you can hear spirits a lot more when you are away from all the chaos and the drama. So it just all depends on what you're trying to accomplish. So it all depends on what you're trying to do and what type of demons you're trying to work with. You have to, again, I always encourage everybody, get you an encyclopedia of spirit so that you can know what type of energy you're working with. So you're not just going trying to discover something. You already know what you're doing ahead of time. So get you a dictionary or an encyclopedia of spirits. Pick out a spirit that resonates with you and work with that deity according to the things that it likes. You know what I mean? So you gotta be more specific about what you're doing. So it's not about working with demons. You have to give the names. What is the name of the deity? What is the name of the demon? What is the name of the angel? You know what I mean? You gotta work directly with these specific names because they all serve specific purposes. You know what I mean? So you got to get your name game up. You know, you gotta know the name. You gotta know what spirit you're trying to connect with, what force of nature you're trying to connect with. You know, you gotta have a plan. You gotta have a master plan already laid down before you start doing anything. That's the alternate nose breathing. Well, it's not necessarily you going from right to left, right to left, right to left. It's like you literally stop the flow of the left so that the right can breathe. You can do that for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. Then if you want to switch it, you can. But it's not necessarily you switching, going back and forth. It's all about, again, if you want to charge up with a particular type of energy, then if it's feminine energy, you have to close this up. So you have this closed, let's just say, all night. If you're sleeping on your right side, you clog up with some cotton or tissue. Your right nostril sleep on your right side, and you will have that covered all night. So it's not necessarily about switching up. It's about one at a time and just seeing the differences. But if you want to alter the breaths, couple breaths in the right, couple breaths through the left, if you want to alter it up like that, then nothing wrong with that either. But you learn the energy individually, then you learn how to work together with the energy. In other words, are each of us connected with one element more than others? If so, how do we know which one we're connected with? I mean, just ask yourself. You just gotta ask yourself, like, what are you drawn to? You just gotta ask yourself, are you drawn to fire, water, air, or earth? It's not necessarily rocket science. It's not something that you gotta dig too deep to discover. It's all about what are you naturally connected with anyway, on an intuitive level. You know what I mean? It ain't something that you really have to do too much. You know what you're drawn to naturally. You know, like, I always like fire, or I always like water, or being around water. I always like crystals. For people that like crystals, that's the earth element. Or you always, just like being out in open air in the forest or whatever. You know what I mean? So you know what you're drawn to. You're just utilizing what you're already drawn to when you're applying the magical or the scientific aspects to it. So you get out of that just right brain to just strictly artistic, and you start applying the logic to it. That's all you're doing. So we're already attracted to many things. If we don't understand why, we just apply the logic so we can put it into scientific or magical proportion so that it can actually serve us. The things that you were drawn to can actually serve you, instead of you just, this is just something I do whenever I feel like doing it. Right? All right. Man, there's a lot of motherfuckers in here. I didn't expect this to be this many people, but we chilling. So I'm just letting y'all know it's no sleep around here. You know what I mean? I may come in and out, during the day and during the night, just to connect with everybody. But we in here, you know what I mean? So we just connecting, seeing what's going on with this energy. How come some people say after we die, we can say formless and high free will, and some say if we do or don't do certain things, we'll be forced back to earth. It all depends, man. It all depends on who you are. Like, for example, if you take your spirituality seriously and you master it, then you don't have to reincarnate, because you didn't master the purpose of life. The purpose of life is learning to transmute energy so that your heart will be lighter than a feather when there's weight on the scale. That's just a metaphor of you living this life to the fullest, so that when it's time for you to depart, you're not attached to anything. The people that reincarnate are still attached to this earth. The people that don't live their purpose. The people that, damn, I wanted to have sex with 1,000 women, but I only had sex with 5 because I was trying to be a good person. I was trying to be moralistic. I looked down on what is it called? Promiscuous people, right? You look down on that energy, so even though that was a part of yourself. So the people that have to come back, they're still attached to the earth or some aspect of the earth. The people that don't come back, they did everything they wanted to do, everything they needed to do. So that's the difference. You got people who don't do what they want to do. Then you got the people who do what they want to do. If you do what you want to do, then you don't have to come back. If you do what you feel you're supposed to do to be a good human being, then you're going to constantly come back, because we don't come here to perfect our humanity. We come here to perfect our spirituality. You must perfect your spirituality, which pretty much leaves your humanity behind. You must leave your humanity behind in order to perfect your spirituality. You know. Yeah, the moon is definitely strong. What's up, Phoenix Rising? What's up, back from hiatus? Yeah, I guess y'all just don't sleep. You know. If I gotta do 2 videos a day, I do 2 videos a day. Trust me. You know what I mean? I just try to keep it balanced. You know, try not to overload people with information. I be telling people, yo, I'm coming every day. I'm giving y'all a whole hour a day, sometimes 2 hours, of just dropping these gems. People can't keep up. You know what I mean? So you let me know who's keeping up with the videos. That's what I want to know. Who is keeping up with all this stuff that I'm putting out, or who needs to catch up? You know what I mean? Because if you caught up, and if you caught up and you want more, then I encourage you to join the website. You know what I mean? You got to hit my email though, because I have a private section of my website that has exclusive information. If you just really that hungry, if you really that hungry, you really that serious about your spirituality, then I suggest you become a member of the site. $5 a month, nothing crazy. You know what I mean? Easy. You know what I mean? You make that like sweat off the back of your hand, no problem. So if you caught up, you want more, definitely send me an email. You can get some access to more. Otherwise, you know, we may do 1 or 2 videos a day. You know what I mean? Keep the spirits fed. That's what we do. We keep the spirits fed. So this is like we're spiritually feeding, you know, feeding the souls and feeding the spirits. You know, that's what we're supposed to do. Keep everybody nourished, keep everybody on point, keep everybody balanced, and have the equality set in motion. All right? Sup, Trust Self. Yeah, I see a lot of y'all. A lot of familiar names. A lot of familiar names. Would you say that some of us ever get born with a guide already? Or all of us have guides? All of us have guides. All of us have gifts. All of us have a certain way to connect with spirit. Your spirituality just helps you rediscover the things that were already natural to you. That's really all spirituality is. We already have animal guides. We already have ancestral guides. All these things are already around us. We just want to heighten our intuition so that we can perceive these things and communicate with these things. That's really all your spirituality does. It just enhances your sixth sense so that you can perceive more of your reality. It's, you know, we most of the time we're limited to what we can perceive, but when you start taking your spirituality seriously, you can perceive more. Meaning, when you start to develop your astral sight, you can start seeing people's auras. You can start retaining your consciousness in the astral plane, retaining your memory. You go further in your lucid dreams, so on and so forth. Anything spiritual. That's essentially what spirituality is getting into your feminine side, getting into the side of working your mind and moving your spirit versus your body. You know, because we are multidimensional beings. You know, we have the 3D, the physical realm, but we got the 4D, or you can say the mental realm. Then you got the 5D, which is your spirit. You know what I mean? We exist on all of these dimensions, and even those beyond the 4th, 5th dimension. But, you know, it's levels to it. So if you're drawn to the earth, you know what I mean, activate that earth magic. If you're already drawn to the earth, just get in an environment where there's an abundance of the earth element and figure out a way to create some type of ritual to correspond with whatever you're trying to manifest. You know what I mean? Get up on your correspondence game. Let me see. Have I had any bad experiences chanting mantras? I have. It's usually when I'm feeling bad though. That's just the the duality of life. Sometimes mantras teach you lessons. Some people just forget that. Some people just always about to be all positive and whatever I want, I'm gonna get. Sometimes there's lessons that need to be learned. So you may have a negative experience. You may have a bad experience, but it's supposed to teach you something. It's not supposed to throw you off the path. It's supposed to teach you something like, yo, it ain't all good. Again, we have been given this perspective of spirituality that things are supposed to be all good, and that's just not the case. So that's why when bad things happen, people don't know what's going on because we have an idea of spirituality is supposed to be all good. Like, oh, I'm doing this to enhance my life. Why would something bad happen? Not knowing that the spirit needs to teach you certain things so that you can go further. But most people are not interested in going further. They're just interested in, just building more material things. So that's why they have certain experiences. They're not trying to go deeper in their spirituality. They're just trying to accumulate more material things. So that's the type of spirituality we've been fed. Like, oh, the only reason I'm doing this is because it can get me certain things. A lot of people nowadays are very vain in their spirituality. They're just doing it for what it can get them, not for where it can take them. That's the difference. Your spirituality can take you further than you can never go physically. But if you're just caught up in the material realm, well, I'm just doing it so I can accumulate more material goods. If you never go beyond the physical plane, then again, that's just, you definitely will be returning back to this physical plane, in other words, because you're so attached to the physical, because your whole spirituality is, well, I need to accumulate more and more material. So that's, you will never transcend the material if you can't take your mind off of it. I'm not saying you need to neglect anything physical, but that's more of an after effect than the reason why you are spiritual. And we are all spirits by nature, but to be spiritual, just to be in the consciousness or intelligence of the spirit, you are able to communicate with the intelligence of the spirit. That's what a spiritual being is. You are communicating with other spiritual beings that have an intelligence. You can form a connection with them. But that ain't really something that you're interested in if you're just trying to materialize things physically. So just making a distinction between, there's many different types of people out here that have their own agendas, and that's why this is the whole reason of ego death, where you leave your personal things behind when you approach spirituality. This isn't for you to glorify your minuscule existence. This is not for you to glorify your humanity. Look how much of a human I am. That is not the purpose. The purpose is to glorify the spirit, to glorify the thing that does not die when you shed your physical body. That's what you're glorifying, the soul, the thing that stays with you when you transcend, versus glorifying the things that you have to leave here when it's time for you to transcend. That's the difference. Are you glorifying the things that you got to leave here, or are you glorifying the things that you're able to keep beyond the physical, time that we have to be here? So, you just have to know who you are, what's your purpose, why are you here, what are you trying to accomplish? These are questions that you need to ask yourself, and you have to take a path in accordance to what you're trying to achieve. Let me see. Who has power? The one who doesn't apologize for it. I mean, it all depends on what your definition of power is. Some people define power as one thing, other people see power as another thing, and they both can be right. So it all depends on what's your definition of power. Some people have power and they're complete assholes. Some people have power and they are humble. They both got power though, but one is prideful with their power and one is humble with their power. One is a servant to the people. One wants the people to serve them. That's the difference. So one person they want to be around people that are serving them. The other person is the servant of the people. That's the difference. Either you are serving the people or you want the people to serve you. If you want the people to serve you, that comes from level of pride, which is one of the 7 deadly sins, which keep you pretty much stagnated on this earth plane, versus the person who is the servant to themselves as well as servant to their community. That's what helps you to transcend, because you are giving your energy away. You are that power that you have. You don't mind giving that power away in order to heal a person, in order to help another person get their life in order. So you are willing to share your power in order to empower others, versus somebody who just has power and who wants to extract power from everyone else. You know, so it all depends on your perspective. You know, much love back from hiatus. Am I the only one who cannot sleep for some reason? Well, you and, this 30 other people who's looking, you know. So yeah, we all up right now because we feeling this energy. So maybe this conversation needed to be had, just to put some things into proper perspective. Again, for the ones who normally don't see me live. So, I definitely want to be diverse. So maybe I do that. Maybe I go live in the daytime and one time in the night. Just to put in more work. 2 videos a day. So what is that? That's like, if we got 365 days in a year, times 2. How many videos is that? Y'all sure y'all can keep up? That's over 600 videos. You sure you can keep up? If y'all can keep up, then I have no problem delivering. But y'all got to keep up. I don't want to be doing it for no reason. And people like, yo, I'm 50 videos behind type shit. So if y'all able to keep up with the frequency, then we can give even more information. And again, for those who want exclusive information, definitely email me, asharenu.com. Sign up for the membership. You get $5 a month. No sweat. Give you access to all type of stuff. So I'm going to start doing that maybe like August 1st. So definitely send me an email so you to be the first on the list to get access to everything. There you go. What does it mean to constantly see 33? It all depends. It means something different to everybody. That's why I encourage you to ask your dreams. Because it may not have anything to do with the physical. You may be seeing 33 that has something to do with your shadow or your alter ego. So before you go to sleep, keep the number 33 firmly in your mind, a crystallized vision of the number 33. You can channel it in your mind or just have a crystallized vision of 33 and see where it takes you in the dream world or the astral plane. Where does it magnetize you to, and what type of experience will you have? Excuse me. So you're not limited to this physical reality. When you see numerology, take it to the dream world and expand it and stretch your imagination. Stretch your imagination. You watch most of the streams, Moon Spirit is keeping up. When y'all let me know, it all depends. If y'all can keep up with 2 videos a day, I do 2 videos a day plus the exclusive information on the website. Y'all, if y'all can keep up, you can keep up. But trust me, I'm definitely going to shower. I'm going to be showering everybody with unlimited game. Because I can never run out of this stuff. Because I really live it. That's why I am the example. Like I really live this. People like how do you keep coming up with information? How do you keep finding stuff to talk about? Because I've dedicated my life to it. Nothing else is more important to me than this wisdom. Not what I'm driving, what clothes I'm wearing, or how other people see me. None of this vanity. I'm not caught up in the vanity. It's just strictly wisdom. So I'm always in that world, so I can always extract information and pull information down, and because this is just what I do. That's why I'm just showing that you can do this, and it don't matter what situation you may be in. Again, that's why I broadcast everything. It don't matter if I'm in the streets or if I have a roof over my head. I'm still putting in this work, and you see me came out of the worst situations, still talking this mess. So that's the whole point. But again, a lot of people don't know. A lot of people haven't, study the channel. They don't know what's been going on for the past year. They don't know, what was going on when I first started live streaming. And me traveling, all the, they don't know. And again, I don't really talk about it because it's only for certain people. You know if you're supposed to know, and if you don't know, then you just won't know. I'm not really going to broadcast it because that's not my purpose. My purpose is to express the wisdom. That's it. You know what I mean? And how a person takes that is up to them. All right? You can easily lucid dream, but you can't control the dreams. You can just walk, touch things, and do stuff like that. It's levels to it. It's levels to it. The more feminine energy you charge up with, the more you're going to be able to have control over it. Because again, it's like you're in a different time, so the laws are different in the dream world. Things manifest a lot more rapidly. Things are a lot more vaporous, so the laws are different. So it's like you have to get attuned. You have to get attuned to how that reality works because it's different from the rules and regulations of this reality. So you have to get attuned or adjusted to the way things work there. And the more you get attuned and adjusted, the more you take it seriously. Meaning you're like every day you're writing down your dreams. Every day you're going to sleep with an intention. It's like this is when it becomes a daily thing for you, when it ain't something that you just pick up and put down at your leisure when you feel like it, then you will start getting results. You have to dedicate. It don't matter if you're lucid dreaming. It don't matter if you're astral traveling. It don't matter if you're meditating. It don't matter what you're doing spiritually. You must dedicate your full self to it in order for you to get the results that you're really looking for. You can't just do it when you have time, when you have energy. Again, like at your leisure. You can't just once a week or whenever you feel like it. That's just, again, just imagine somebody treating you that way, picking you up and putting you down whenever they feel like it. How much would you respect that person? So you gotta have that same perspective when it comes to the spirit. It ain't something that you pick up and put down when you feel like it or when you need something. This is something that you constantly exist in this reality because this is what gives you power. Your power comes from that connection of the spirit or that connection with that higher intelligence. That's what gives you your power. That's what gives you the ability to do things that other people can't do and see things that other people can't see and to express themselves in a way that other people can't. This is all, gifts of the spirit, right? Salute, Nick. Definitely spirit will push you out of pattern and routine. Absolutely. You know what I mean? But you gotta really be in tune to know that like spirit can get you out of any situation, can put you in any situation and take you out of any situation. So you just have to know that you have to dedicate yourself to truly know the infinite power of spirit that already exists within all of us. It already exists. Like it's a piece of you that is already communicating. We just have to gain awareness of it. I see somebody left a $5 super chat. I haven't got to your comment just yet, but whoever left that $5 super chat, you already know. Salute to you. That the give and receive. We keeping the energy flowing. I appreciate everybody who's hitting a thumbs up, for everybody who's appreciating, everybody who's watching. Again, I appreciate it. This is what I do it for. Again, I'm doing it for the people, doing it to share the wisdom. I dedicate my life to it. And y'all see it, I broadcast it, so nobody should have any questions because I done showed you everything. I done showed you how to survive on the streets. And I done showed you how to get your mind right. I done showed you everything, and I'm going to keep talking about it. I'm not going nowhere. I'm going to keep talking about it so that these things can be firm in the mind, and this can become your lifestyle if that's what you choose to do, or a variation of your lifestyle. You don't have to do what I do. Just do something spiritual. It doesn't have to be in my footsteps. You can create your own footsteps as long as you are doing what is in accordance to your, the way you work, your spirit and your soul. So what is everybody feeling now? I find that with every full moon, it causes different reactions. Absolutely. Like for me, I can speak for me. Everybody can give their opinion. You can stroll down. But for me, it's keeping me up. For me, it's got me up at 1 a.m. I'm probably not going to sleep, I'm probably gonna maybe about 5 or 6 a.m. Probably gonna set all this back up, let the phone charge, set all this back up, and do the next video. Then I may do another video at like 12. Then I may do another video at 6. May do another video around this time. It all depends. So we gonna see if y'all see me just going live back to back to back to back to back. Then you already know. You already know. This is just a wave. I call it waves. These various waves of energy. I call it waves. So doing this full moon wave, if the energy is potent, then y'all gonna know. I'm just gonna keep hitting you with the information. We just never gonna stop. You gonna get tired of me before I get tired of speaking about this game. Trust me. I appreciate that, true self. You're a great teacher. What's up, Golden Appeal? Yeah, I recognize a couple folks. You know what I mean? I'm gonna see though. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see if y'all can truly keep up. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna see. We gonna see who's still up 5 6 hours from now. We're gonna see who up 12 hours from now. Yeah, I'm gonna see. We gonna see who got the endurance. We gonna see who endurance game is on point. Who Saturn game. Who number 8. Who got the endurance on point. All right. Recently met this guy. Was outside 3 in the morning. He came over to me because he thought he saw some sort of creature spirit by me. Now we're friends. Yeah, some people come into this world with their astral sight already on point. So he was just seeing something that existed on a higher dimension. So definitely, that person may be in your life to help you cultivate your astral sight. Because obviously theirs is cultivated. They may not understand it. They may not be able to identify with that's that spirit. That's that spirit. They may not be on that level, but y'all definitely could help each other to achieve that level of realization if that's the purpose they serve. So it's definitely people who come into this world with natural gift, even if they don't understand it. So some people have that astral sight and they can perceive those things. Lunar energy is what motivates my workings. Speak the truth, absolutely. We need that lunar energy. That's why the feminine energy is so suppressed in these times, because that's what we need in these times. We don't really need more masculine energy. We need more feminine energy. You know what I mean? For the people who can understand that, we don't need more people trying to be leaders. But some people may feel we do. Some people may feel like, we have a lack of leaders. We got a lack of leadership. We got a lack of direction. That's why we in the same predicament. We're not going no further. But my conclusion is we need more spiritual workers. We need more people who can understand the language of spirit. We need more people who are patient enough, to ground themselves in spirituality and to have a solid foundation. We need more shamans, more fortune tellers, more astrologers, more numerologists. We need more people who can speak the language of the spirit so that we can assist the future leaders and the future people that's going to build and the people that's going to, usher in the new wave. They need guidance. They need teachers. They need mentors. They need somebody who already has an understanding of spirit so that they can help cultivate them, the future leaders and the future builders. But without guidance, how are they going to be able to do anything constructively? So we have people who's ready to lead, who has a lot of flame and fire in their spirit. They just don't have proper guidance. It ain't nobody there to guide them correctly. You know what I mean? So we need more people that's already in tune, in tune with the spirit, and you can speak the language so that you can speak the language of the youth so that you can help them and assist them instead of being the polarity of the youth. You can match their frequency. Say 730 videos. Yeah, if I was doing 2 videos a day, like 730 videos. So again, that's more videos than probably anybody will ever watch. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers ain't trying to watch no 730 videos unless they dedicated. If you ain't dedicated, you're not going to make it through 730 videos or something that you don't really care about or something. You're just trying to get immediate results. I'm trying to get something. I'm trying to manifest this. I'm trying to manifest that. You ain't about to sit through 730 videos. But if you are interested in the wisdom contained within those 730 videos, then it's going to keep you coming back and back and back and back, because you're not trying to extract, you're trying to understand what's being said. You're trying to speak the language and understand the language versus what can it do for me? What can it do for me? What can it do for me? But that's just how the people think nowadays. You know, they just think they want things rapidly manifested. They can do it, but they just don't want to put in the work. Again, anybody who's interested in rapid manifestation, it just requires you to do things like fasting. It requires you to be dedicated to your spiritual. You can do it. It just takes the work. But, you know, for whatever reason, people ain't really trying to put in that real spiritual work because they don't have a spiritual basis. And that's why people have to be qualified, because you may hear something and you want to do it. Some people heard about the law of attraction and all this stuff, and they want to do it, but then they realize it's not working because you need a spiritual foundation. This ain't something that you can just walk into and just do whatever you want to do. There's rules and regulations that govern these laws and these dynamics that you have to understand and work with. You have to work with nature and not against nature. But you know what I mean? By the time people figure that out, they didn't already left. They're like, oh, that's some bullshit. That don't work. So they didn't already excuse themselves out of the equation before they even come to that understanding. Because again, I used to be one of these people. I wanted all type of stuff. Then I realized I need to learn this. I need to learn this. I need to learn this. And this actually has a correlation with that. That has a correlation with this. And you know what I mean? It took me a while to get a grasp of all of this simultaneously. So it takes time. You know what I mean? This ain't something that you can rush. That's why it requires dedication. It got to really be in you, not on you. It got to really be in you to have some type of longevity in this game. Because again, we ain't talking about doing no crimes. We ain't talking about harming nobody. We ain't talking about doing nothing unjust. We ain't talking about being criminals. We ain't talking about none of that. This is just strictly fifth dimensional thinking, strictly thinking and acting out of spirit. You know what I mean? So you're not worried about the police. You're not worried about haters. You're not worried about anything like that because you are focused on your path. You know what I mean? So, on the day of resurrection, you can call the risen person Christ Hetep. This is all you need to understand what is meant by the ancient word Hetep. I guess, even though it's Hotep, I don't know where you're getting the E from. But, these are all metaphysical principles. Angel sees. So it's a metaphysical story. It's way deeper than what you're talking about. Trust me. That's just on the surface if you believe that. But it's way deeper than that. It's way deeper than that. You've been seeing 38 lately? Again, anybody who's seeing their numerology, you got to take it to the dream world. Take it to the dream world. Keep these visions in your mind. Keep them sound bites in your mind and take it to the dream world. And again, the only reason I say that because I know nobody is telling you that because nobody's doing that. You're not going to type in Google, what is the meaning of 33 or what is the meaning of 38, and people talk about their dream experience because they're not doing that. So that comes from me. That's something that I did. Because I was seeing numbers just like everybody else was seeing numbers. And it wasn't making, I couldn't just Google search an answer. So I started taking these numbers to the dream world and I started to record it in my dreams. Okay, when I kept 111 on my mind, this is what happened in a dream. When I kept 333 on my mind, because these were the numbers I was seeing. I had a dream. This is a dream I had. I wrote it down. I was seeing 777. I was seeing this number. I was seeing that number. So I would take it to the dream world, write down a dream, and like, okay, well, this is what it was truly trying to tell me. So I would have to take it to the dream world to get a true understanding. I couldn't go to no book. I couldn't go to a person to figure out what these things meant. I had to go within. That's the point. You have to go within. But again, for whatever reason, people are afraid to explore their own mind or to look in the face of their own shadow. That's why people don't like doing it, because you got to look in the face of your own shadow self. You know what I mean? People ain't ready for that shadow work. But that's what comes with the territory. I'm getting all these notifications. I apologize. Let us keep going. I'm glad you do what you do. Nobody listens to me while studying and share very little lately. It's good to hear like-mindedness. You know what I mean? Only certain people can hear the frequency. You got to put in the work. If you don't put in the work, you're not going to be able to speak the language. You're not going to be able to utilize the techniques. So anybody else who's not interested, again, it's not that we're opposite or it's us against them. And it ain't about none of that. It's just about let them do them and you do you. It's as simple as that. You know what I mean? These people can still be your friends, can still be your family. You can still go over there and eat. Still go over there, have fun. Again, it may be a significant other. You know what I mean? You may be spiritual. They may not understand it, but they helping you pay the bills. It is what it is. You know what I mean? This is definitely a lonely path. This is a very, very lonely path. So why you don't see other people in my videos. You know? You don't see people like you see me by my goddamn self all of the time. That's just, I mean, that's just a reality of it. You're not going to always have somebody by your side. You may not always have somebody to talk to. But you know, maybe I need to bring more people. Maybe y'all need to see me having conversations with somebody else so y'all can see the conversation going back and forth. Maybe I, you know what I mean? I should have some of the listeners calling in. Some of y'all who's watching, maybe I should have y'all call in. I get another phone or whatever. Have people call in so we can actually have an exchange. But that's why I offer, you know, natal readings and tarot readings and consultations. So if you really want to have that one-on-one and actually gain something from it and have some type of foundation and insight, not just to talk, but to talk to actually have some type of spiritual benefit. You know, that's why I offer the services I offer, you know, for people who need that type of service, you know. Your audience is a testimony that you've been at this for a while. You already know, yeah, we half a decade in at this point. We half a decade in, you know, we're going to go a whole nother. By the time we 10 years in, so what is that? By the time we 10 years in, it's going to be crazy. You know what I mean? Because I'm not going to stop. I can't speak for nobody else. But I'm not going to stop. So y'all know, as long as I keep spitting, you know what I mean? Things are going to keep manifesting. Sound turns into matter. So, you know what I mean? I'm never going to stop. The only thing that's going to stop me is if it's when it's my time to go. When it's my time to transcend, then my work is done. But till then, we got a lot to say, and we never gonna run out. You never can run out of wisdom when you become wisdom, because that's your focus. Your focus is to be the intelligence of wisdom. You know what I mean? So you're never gonna run out. So we gonna keep going. You know what I mean? We're not stopping no time soon. Definitely. So I see Angel C's left the $5 super chat. So I appreciate you, homie. But definitely, you know. So it's a lot more to the things on the surface. You are amazing. You are a master teacher. There definitely are levels. Respect to you, Joanna May. Respect to you. You know, real recognize real, as they say. Only the real can recognize when the real is right before them. You know what I mean? The blind leads the blind. So that's why we don't focus on, again, trying to big up our egos, or you know, big up what we are, or we're better because we're spiritual when they're just a bunch of sheep. We ain't talking like that. Like, yo, just let humans be humans and let the spirits be spirits. It is what it is. Let the humans do human stuff, and let, you know, you do your spirituality, and it don't have nothing to do with them. You can just keep them over there. You know. So, you know, we're not here to make enemies. We're not here to beat up on nobody's way of life, nobody's religion. We're just here to do us. That's all we're doing. We're just here to do us. We ain't hating nobody else's way of life. We ain't gotta bring up nobody else's name or nothing. We're just doing us. But it all, you know, people tend to try to come over here and disrupt the flow. But that's what we gotta bring out them swords. You know, and start decapitating. Exactly. Streetwise spirituality. See, that's something that you can't buy. That's something you can't buy. And that's why I really don't be focusing on like material stuff, you know. You can't buy wisdom. It has to be earned. It has to be gained. You have to go through something. To be streetwise, you got to go through these streets. You got to navigate these streets. You got to survive on these streets. You know what I mean? You don't necessarily got to be a drug dealer. You don't necessarily got to be a criminal. You know what I mean? There's various street personalities. You know what I mean? You ain't even got to be a criminal. Again, you don't see me out here doing nothing. I'm not breaking no laws at all. I may smoke a little herb, but that's legal on the West Coast. So I'm not out here breaking no laws. I'm not out here making nobody else's life harder. But at the same time, there will always be somebody who can find fault in what I say or what somebody else says. So in my own mind, I may look at myself a certain way, but that everybody will have their own perspective. There's probably some people who hate my guts for whatever reason, for some past situations or whatever. But at the end of the day, we stay moving forward. We stay centered on, the goal or the purpose. Aquarius energy. I'm definitely feeling a lot of Aquarius energy. Yeah, definitely. Malet or Malet, you can't sleep either. A lot of people can't sleep. The energy is definitely heavy. It's a heavy energy, but it's a light energy. It's not heavy enough to the point it makes you sleepy, but it takes you into a meditative zone. So that's definitely what I would say. I would say I'm more so in a meditative zone. Definitely more meditative. I'm just speaking. I'm doing my best to look more into the camera, because normally I'd be looking at the comments. But then, when y'all look at me in the video, it's like I'm not making a connection with you because I'm looking at the comments. But when I'm looking right at this camera, it's like I'm looking right in your eyes. So that's why I'm looking more into the camera, because I started to notice that. I'm like, I'm not even looking at the people. It's like I'm looking at me, but I'll be trying to look at the comments, but no, I'm looking directly at this camera. So when I look over, you can tell when I look over, you can tell when I'm looking straight. So I'm just doing my best to, keep the quality upgraded, keep everything smooth, keep everything professional. Try not to cuss so much, you know what I mean? Because it's not necessary. We're just trying to spit this game. Why did you choose to give and share wisdom? And so I couldn't help it. I couldn't help it. This is how I've always been. I've always thought like this. You know what I mean? It was a time where the thought was put into my head that you should teach it. It didn't really come from me. You know what I mean? I was running in the streets doing what I do as a young man. You know what I mean? You know what we do. You know what I mean? I was out here slaying the women and all that. Then somebody put it in my mind and like, yo, you need to teach. So the first time I tried to teach the women, but they wasn't interested. They were just trying to, have sexual relations. So it just gave me a different perspective of life. I'm like, I'm trying to teach you some game, to get your knowledge on point. You just trying to have sexual relations. So I just had to put it into perspective. Like, it's not for everybody. It's only for somebody who has cultivated their minds their whole lives. So again, nobody had to wake me up. I wasn't woken up. I've always been this way. So this isn't something that just happened, in 2012 or when people just woke up. Like, I've always been this way. I just didn't have an outlet. Now that I have an outlet, then it is what it is. So I feel like this lifestyle was given to me. You know what I mean? It's like the spirit came to me. The spirit came to me and made me watch what I seen that took my mind to the next level. Once I discovered things like meditation and creative visualization, I just ran with it. And you know what I mean? I told a story many, many times, so I don't want to get too deep into it, but the spirit came to me and like, yo, this is what you're supposed to be doing, and that's what I've been doing ever since. I can't see myself doing anything else. But the spirit encompasses everything. So I'm not saying that like I couldn't do anything else. But let's just say even if I had to get up in the morning and go to a job, like I would make that job my playground. You know what I mean? Like, I'm doing my magical work, say influence the people at the job and all that. So every day I'm just so happen to get paid type stuff. That's how I would be viewing everything. So again, so that's why, you know what I mean, I don't try to knock nobody's way of life. However you pay your bills, however you make your money is your business. You know what I mean? I don't get into all that. How people do what they do is their business. It's none of my business. Just as long as you are making life your playground, do it however you choose to do it. As long as you are utilizing your spirituality to enhance your life, do it however you choose to do it. It is what it is. And again, I see somebody else I guess they left a donation as well. I haven't got to your comment chat, but I appreciate the donation ahead of time. Let me see. You do your videos like I do my massages on top of each other. But when the spirit gives the energy, you got to go and share. Absolutely, absolutely. You know what I mean? See, people don't even know. I got those magic hands too. Trust me. If I put my hands, on a body, I know how to work that magic with my hands as well. Don't have a certificate though, so you know what I mean. I'd be trapping out the band though. Like if I was trapping out the band though, I would be having people come over. Yo, I got the massages, I got the crystals. I can put the Reiki on you, or the Reiki, not the Reiki, the Reiki. Activate. You know what I mean? I can do a lot more things than just communicate with people through a phone. But I'm taking my time with all that other stuff. Because I mean, you don't want to mess up nobody's energy, and you don't want to mess up your own energy doing something that you're not familiar with. So I'm familiarizing myself with a lot of those principles and techniques so that I can start doing a lot more things physically. So definitely, definitely hit up the email if you're in the Vegas area or even the LA area, because I'd be back and forth. I mean, if you want a personal session and all that, just get out the email, ash@asharenu.com. We'll set something up. So, just trying to diversify my portfolio, as they say. Diversify my portfolio. There we go. You taught me how to create astral temples the right way. True links and knowledge, brother. I appreciate that back from hiatus. You already know. I only speak about things I did. I'm not gonna tell you to do something I haven't did or something I never tried before. That's why I don't speak from books. I speak from personal experience. So that's why my presentation is a little bit different. Because I mean, I'm not necessarily trying to overload you with information from somebody else's experience. I'm trying to speak directly from my experience. Based on the things that I have went out and tried for myself. Again, some of it is documented on YouTube, but a lot of it isn't. I mean, that's why I would go out into the streets. Every time I would go onto the streets and stay, I'd be homeless 30 days, 45 days, 50 days. But the reason I would be doing these things is to test out, like, yo, is this stuff really possible? Does it really work? If this stuff really works, I should be okay. I should not die in these streets. I should not be subjected to things that I don't want to do. What I mean? I shouldn't, all that stuff shouldn't be caught up in all the stuff that I ain't trying to get caught up in. And it didn't happen. I mean, I was able to, live a street life and be okay. What I mean? Even if I was sleeping outside. What I mean? Even if I, didn't have food in my stomach or money in my pocket, I'm like, yo, I'm all right. Because I didn't allow the current situation to define who I was. I never lost sense of who I was. So I was always, mentally focused and mentally astute. So it'd be one day, may not have no money in my pocket, then boom, somebody may request a service. Or I may do something here, do something there. Then next day I got money in my pocket so I can enjoy myself a little bit, be conscious with the money, do whatever I do. It all just depends on the situation. But again, my whole thing was like, yo, you can be in the worst possible scenario, maintain your spirituality and rise above it. That's just been my whole thing. I mean? Not living a fearless life, in other words. Living a fearless life. Not being a nuisance to somebody else, not causing chaos for somebody else, but being fearless to exploring your own inner workings. Not somebody else. Not something else. Not going out and exploring the world, but exploring your own internal nature, because that's what comes out when you are under pressure. Who you really are comes out when you under pressure. So when you place yourself under pressure, you are trying to bring out who you really are. To see for yourself, is this something that I'm satisfied with, or is this something that I can build upon? But that's just my personal philosophy. That's just why I do what I do, personally. All right. Definitely shout out to all the Aquariuses. You know what I mean? Definitely feeling this energy. You had a vision about what you would be doing as a shaman after the ascension, 3 Earths, but one more Earth, multiple frequencies. There's definitely multiple frequencies. There's definitely multiple Earths. You could say it's like 7 Earths And each of the 7 Earths have like 9 dimensions. So it's like you can say there's like 63 dimensions or 63 possibilities of dimensions that we can go. So every time we dream, every time we astral travel, we're accessing one of these Earths in one of those dimensions. You know what I mean? So that's just to scale it down briefly. So yeah, there's many Earths, many parallel Earths, and many realities, many frequent levels of thought all going on at the same time. It's really little bit too much to comprehend, but just to break it down to a small enough scale so that you can comprehend. All right. Also, do mermaids symbolize anything? Because I've been seeing things about mermaids every day, everywhere, same with the number 222. Well, 222 is definitely the number of the moon, which represents the element of water. Mermaids also resonate with water. You know what I mean? So I would definitely say if you're really trying to tap into the energy of the mermaids or the sirens, in Greek mythology they're called sirens, 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 or the goddess Medusa. I talked about the goddess Diana and Hecate in the video I just did earlier. So if you didn't see my earlier video, watch my earlier video because I talked about Diana. So if you're really trying to get with mermaids, work with Medusa. Work with the deity Medusa with the snake hair, the snakes in her hair, because she was a siren or a mermaid. And Medusa reveals the secrets of menstrual blood, how to work with your menstrual blood, for your ritual purposes. But again, gets you definitely an encyclopedia of spirits if you want, more in-depth information. So yes, definitely mermaids and the number 22 and Medusa all have a correlation, especially at the time during the full moon. So there's definitely a big connection with that. What's the best way to be ready for shadow working? You have to fully accept yourself. Fully accept yourself. You know what I mean? You have to accept yourself. Meaning that the same aspect of you, what I mean, that when you see a beautiful woman, she makes you want to look back. You don't you're not ashamed of that. You're not ashamed of your lower self, in other words. You're not ashamed of your lower self, and you're not afraid to, ascend to your higher self, essentially. So you have to fully accept yourself. So I'm just, I'm looking around, because, it'd be a lot of insects and ants all over the place. Especially in the summertime, they going crazy. Any little thing you leave out, they finding it. They going in. But that's just the feminine energy as well. Yeah, because I'm looking at, I don't know. It's a lot of ants crawling around. See, I got this set up in a weird way. Like I'm sitting on a stool, and I got the little camera set up on a chair, and I'm seeing a lot of ants. I guess when they sense something, they starting to formulate their little line or whatever. But I just look at it spiritually. Ants definitely represent feminine energy. So if you see a little ant crawl across the screen, they just doing their thing. I'm not about to, kill them or do nothing like that. I just let them do whatever they do. I figure all that, once I end the video, it is what it is. But definitely ants are symbolic to the number 4, the energy of Rahu. Ants are mostly females. You know what I mean? So that's why they go so hard. So they definitely are symbolic of the feminine energy. They may be feeling this full moon energy as well. So they just kind of gathering around this energy because it's like we all are creating a vortex. So they probably just gathering around. So it is what it is. We ain't going to make a big deal out of it. You know. Oh yeah, okay. I see. Marvin the Magi left the 1111 donation. I appreciate you once again, big homie. Again, y'all should all know Marvin the Magi. It's always giving the 1111 donations. I super love, man. You already know, definitely. He understands the energy exchange. We definitely have to, be here for each other. We definitely have to support our own. If nobody supports us, then meaning if we don't support ourselves, then nobody's going to support us. In other words, if we don't build each other up, then nobody else is going to build us up. Nobody else is going to come from the outside, look at our situation, and have sympathy. We must have sympathy for ourselves. We must be compassionate towards each other, because that's all we have, right? We all we got. as we say, right? So definitely, that's why I say I definitely appreciate it, you know, each and every time. Have I ever done a meetup? Definitely. I've definitely done a meetup. Um, I did one in Atlanta. Definitely. Then I met a couple people when I was in DC. Um, I want to do one in LA. I kind of want to do one in Vegas, but maybe I'm trying to wait till the weather get a little bit cooler because it's super hot out here. But yeah, I definitely have did a I did I ha- definitely have did a meetup before. It was when I went to Atlanta. I think it was, if I remember correctly, it's supposed to be like three women and three dudes that was supposed to show up, and it's like none of the dudes showed up, so they just left me with all the women. So I'm like, man, it's all good, you know. Definitely shout out to Atlanta. Y'all already know who y'all are. So it was all good. So I definitely did a meetup. I don't mind doing meetups. Don't mind at all. So let us continue. Peace, peace. What's up, Anthony? Damn, it's like I'm 20 minutes behind these fucking comments. I apologize, everybody. I'm just making sure that anybody who has a question that I'm definitely giving it energy. Let me make sure. Okay. So I guess let me speed this up a little bit. Okay, Red is asking what first triggered you to take your spiritual journey. Mine was after sleep paralysis, which scared me at first, but once it happened again, I scared the spirit after learning, researching techniques. What first triggered me to take my spiritual journey? All right, I've told this story before, but I will briefly reiterate it here just to answer the question. So, I was 18 years old. 18 years old. My grandparents were sick. They were approaching death at this time. So my mother was like, "Go over there and make sure they good." And I was like, "Nah, I ain't trying to go over there," because she wanted me to stay there like a whole week. I'm like, "I ain't trying to go over there." Make a long story short, I ended up over there. I couldn't talk myself out of it. They were okay. They were getting older at this time, so they were okay. But what stood out was while I was over there, I ended up watching a documentary about a yogi who had died that year. This was like the year 2009, something like that. Yeah, like 2009. So a yogi had died that year. He was a yogi for the Beatles. So if you wanna know who this is, just type in who was a guru or yogi for the Beatles, and you can find his name. He had died that year. So that was my first time I heard about meditation. That was my first. Knew nothing about meditation. So after watching that documentary, I went home, did my research about meditation. Every day at 4 in the morning, I started to meditate. So my only desire at that time was to go to California. I was in Detroit at the time. Detroit, Michigan. That's where I'm from. So my only desire was to go to Los Angeles. Didn't know how I was gonna get there. I knew a couple people, but nobody had money for a plane ticket. Everybody was working, paying bills, and do what adults do, right? So every day at 4 a.m. I would visualize what I would be doing in LA, basically the LA lifestyle and all that. I would do that every morning at 4 a.m. Create a visualize a white dot on the wall and make that white dot into a more complex shape and just start exercising my mind. So that was the first time in my life where I started using my mind more than my body. So I'm like, okay, I can accomplish things with my mind instead of everything has to come with what my hands produce, right? So that I started thinking like that, and sooner or later, I got the phone call from the folks I knew in LA. They were like, "Yo, we got you a ticket. Hop on the plane." And I'm like, "Yo, how did y'all get the money for a ticket?" He said like, yo, I went to the bank to deposit the funds. It's like the bank teller didn't even take the money. They just typed it in. They just typed it in. He like, he didn't even take the money. I'm like, who does that? And to this day, I've never heard that ever happen in no bank. Oh, they just not gonna take the money. It just don't happen. So that let me know that, oh shit, this is real. I've been thinking about LA, you know, weeks. Finally got the phone call and didn't have to pay for nothing. Didn't have to pay for nothing. So then, end up, living that LA life. Everything that I visualized came into existence. So at that point, I knew it was real. So I had to prove it to myself first. So I didn't just read no book and run off of what somebody else said. Like I put it into action, and I got results based on where my mind was being focused, and I ended up where I wanted. So at that point, it was no turning back. I'm like, that was the first time I had actually consciously observed the manifestation. So it was no turning back at that point. So that's just a brief introduction, to my introduction to spirituality when I started taking it seriously. Because before then I knew about astrology and all that stuff, but that's when I started to really take it seriously. After that. All right. What can we expect to experience from this energy? It all depends on how open you are to receiving. So it all depends. You got to be open to receive. And it's going to be different for everybody. It all depends on, like, what would you normally be doing around the time of a full moon? Again, so I guess this may not be for people who may not already be in tune with. So if this is like your first time, with a full moon or a lunar eclipse, watch my video that I did on the super blue moon. I believe it was called a super blue blood moon or something like that. I did it months back. And I did a whole ritual, and I gave you an example. So y'all got to go back and watch my video I did on the super blue moon. And I showed you how to do a lunar ritual for those who may be new. But for those who already understand the full moon dynamics and the new moon dynamics, you kind of know what you're getting yourself into. But again, because we got the lunar eclipse in the middle of it all, then it gives a unique type of energy. It's definitely a darker energy, because again, a lunar eclipse is basically the sun. The light of the sun can't reach the moon because it's being blocked by the earth. So the light of the sun is being blocked by the earth, so you're not going to be able to see it. So which makes the moon reddish. That gives it the reddish tone. So it's definitely a darker energy. Definitely a good time for shadow work. You know what I mean? So definitely tapping into your alter ego, doing any type of subconscious work, any type of dream work, astral work, so on and so forth. Anything spiritual, breathing through your left nostril. So anything spiritual, it amplifies anything spiritual. That's what the full moon does. So with the lunar eclipse, this is just more going into the internal realms, because the moon will be darkened. So it's time to go into your internal nature and to study yourself from the inside out. We all have multiple personalities. You must learn from them. Learn from your multiple personalities. We are not just one person or one being. We are many different things operating through one vessel. But we have more than one personality. We have multiple personalities. We are all bipolar in that sense, because we all have, various personalities that we tap into for certain things. Like, you're not the same person when you're having sex and the same person at the job. That's used two different people. So, but they both are an aspect of yourself. It just gives you aspects into your internal nature. That's the part of you that normally is hidden. The energy from the lunar eclipse triggered my body to purge. I've been throwing up and sick all day. Exactly. That's what I mean by it's going to affect everybody differently. It's just all the full moon is always about cleansing. It's always about detox. So it's going to make you want to do more of those things. You may do it whether you want to or not. You know what I mean? So that's definitely any type of detox. That's that the energy is definitely being supported by the full moon. So it's just giving you insight into this is what you should be doing from here on out. You know what I mean? So for the next 15 days, you know what I mean, definitely keep your energy cleansed, keep your diet light, keep your spirituality on the forefront. You know what I mean? Carry that for the next 15 days all the way up to the new moon. You know what I mean? So you can start gathering and reshaping and remolding that energy. So like the same energy that's used to break down all these foods that we eating, all these negative thoughts that we having, just you know what I mean, you just transmuting all that energy that weighs you down. Then it starts to transcend you. So that same energy that was holding you down is going to be the same energy that pushes you up once it's transmuted. You know, you got to transmute that energy. And again, it's just by you studying your internal nature so that you know how to utilize your multiple personalities. There's a time and place for everything. So once you use the right energy at the right time and you do that enough, you start to build your lifestyle around your spirituality, doing the right things at the right times, being aware of the moon cycles, being aware of the solar cycles, being aware of the cycles of the planets, and being aware of the cycles of the stars, the sun, moon, and stars. Astrology, astronomy, numerology. You know what I mean? However you have put together your lifestyle. Again, because everybody may not be into astrology or numerology. They may have a whole different way of viewing these things. To each his own. I'm just giving you an example of how I view it from a personal level. All right. Do I meet people on the streets that watch my videos? If so, does it weird you out? Would it be weird? Would it be weird? It would weird me out. I feel like not necessarily. Nah. Like it's been I remember one time I was on Hollywood Boulevard. I was on Hollywood Boulevard. Wait till this plane pass. At Hollywood and Vine. For all my LA people, all my West Coast people, you know about Hollywood and Vine. And it was this woman, she recognized me. She fucking put her whole body out the car type shit. It was like waving. She like they didn't stop. They didn't come up and shake my hand and do none of that shit. But she like stuck her fucking body. I was like waving. I tried to keep my cool. Like I don't know who that is. But it's all good. Yeah. If anybody approach me, just let me know who you are. Like yo, I know you from YouTube. All right, cool. Because if I know that you watch my videos and I can talk to you on a certain frequency, but if I don't know, like yo, what I mean, I'm gonna approach you differently if you don't make that known. You know what I mean? Because I don't speak to everybody in the same way. Like if you're unconscious, and I'm gonna speak to you, in just in general terms. But if you letting me know that yo, you are aware and you can see many things, and we can have a different type of conversation. You know what I mean? So we can take it from there. So yeah, if you see me, don't be afraid to approach. You'll probably see me somewhere in meditative position, in half lotus position. So if you see a dude in half lotus position, it's probably me. Or you see somebody, that's being cool, low key, checking out the scenery, it's probably me. You know what I mean? So all the dark places, places that people don't normally go, people that are scared to visit, graveyards, probably me. Just thinking how other people don't think, it's probably me. You know. Um, you got it. I am licensed, but sharing is caring, and I would be honored. I thought I was awake my whole life, but then this matrix bomb dropped on me. Never saw that one coming. Yeah, you already know. It's gonna be things in this reality that just completely throw you off. That it's gonna be things that make you want to get in your emotions and all that. So these type of services are gonna become more relevant as we progress, you know, further into this new age, or what's called a new age. So that's why I'm getting everything right now. I'm getting everything right. You know what I mean? My physical game right, mental game right, spiritual game, because I personally believe there will be a time that comes whether in this lifetime or not, where you have to depend on your spirituality. It's still like a choice nowadays. People can be spiritual if they want to, but if they're not, then they're not. I definitely feel there will be a time that comes where you have to depend on this science to survive, where you need this. This is going to be a basic part of life, but that's my opinion. So people just kind of lollygagging with it now. They just kind of one foot in, one foot out with it right now. But, eventually you're going to have to be 10 toes down with this lifestyle if you truly want to benefit and ascend and, do what it's for it to do what it's supposed to do for you. I see you, Leandra. What's up, 1111? What's the meaning of 333? There is no meaning. There is no stationary meaning. There's a reason you're seeing 333, and you need to discover the reason why you are seeing it. Meaning, chant 333 before you go to sleep. Keep it in your mind and observe and record. Observe and record your dreams and study your dreams. So for a whole week, just chant 333 before you go to sleep and write down what your experiences are. And you find out what 333 means for you personally. It may mean something different to somebody else. So it's not necessarily a general meaning. Yes, you have a general meaning for the numbers, but why you're seeing the numbers are for you personally. So you have to discover why you are seeing 333 versus what 333 means for everybody, because it means different things for different people. Right? What's your take on food diet since all is fake? Why does it matter? I say fake because meat and source, those animals never know life. Yeah, slaughtered within weeks. Well, my take on diet, it all depends. Like, for example, if you are health conscious, if health is your thing and you're health conscious, then I advise a raw vegan diet. If you are health conscious and you're concerned with your health, a raw vegan diet. Now, if you're more on the occult side of things, as you say, like, yeah, why does it all matter? We got chemtrails everywhere. They poison in the food. They poison in the water. Everything is GMO and all that. If you're of that mentality, then you're like, yeah, what's the fucking point? Why? Even if you try to eat healthy, you're still eating, technically some bullshit, right? So if you're more in the occult mindset, then you should be more focused on programming your food and changing the atomic structure of the food that you eat. That's why people say prayer. All right. So if you are of that mindset, why does it matter? I suggest you pray over your food and you change the atomic structure. That's what praying does. It changes the atomic structure of the food. So even if you're eating some BS, it won't affect you the same way that it would affect somebody else. For example, the mantra Om, O-M, Om, Om, Om. Say that 108 times over your food before you eat it. Then you let me know if it's a difference. Because I used to do this. Because again, I'm not going to tell you something I didn't do. I used to chant Om 108 times over each meal. And the food affected me differently when I ate it. The same food, but it affected me differently. So I would say try programming your food and see if you can notice a difference. If you are more on the occult side of things. So you're not too much concerned with your diet more so than you programming the food itself. And you telling your mind that this food will be beneficial for me, even though it may be a fucking Coca-Cola. This Coca-Cola is going to be beneficial for me. It's going to help me activate my Kundalini. You know what I mean? So it just all depends on what perspective you're coming from. There you go. You're also from Detroit. Shout out to you, true self. You already know Detroit. You know what I mean? Midwest 313. You already know. What's up, 222? A lot of 222s. I definitely for all my weed smokers, definitely check out those mantras before. Say a prayer before you smoke up. I've been saying this, but again, it's a lot of new people. So before you eat, chant. Before you smoke, chant. Before you sleep, chant. When you wake up, chant. This will change your experience. I guarantee. So all my numerologists out there, you seeing all these numbers, You know, before you puff up, chant the number 108 times. Before you eat, chant 108 times. Before you go to sleep, chant 108 times. You know what I mean? Just start implementing those sounds into your life and make them come to life so that it is no longer a mystery for you. Anything that's unknown, you must make it known by practicing your spirituality and developing a lifestyle. So you develop a lifestyle around the things that work for you. If it works, it becomes a lifestyle, right? And my battery is at 22%. You know, because the batteries at was like 50%. Anyway, I started at 50%. Because again, I didn't plan on doing this, but it is what it is. We're going to make sure we get through all these questions though before we clock out. I have constantly manifested in the past. However, afterwards, I noticed more activity with the shadow around me. After that, I was kind of scared away from it and have been focused on cleansing and staying grounded. Yeah, you already know. That's what I mean. It ain't all games. It ain't all games. You have to take this seriously. You know what I mean? I keep telling people that people be, they be so lighthearted with this because that's the way it's presented. All I gotta do is think positive and I'm good. Like, nah, some real bad negative shit is gonna happen to you since it's all about how you deal with it. Nobody's gonna tell you that though. A part of your spirituality is going through fucked up situations and keeping your mind on point through the madness. That's what spirituality teaches you, principles. It teaches you etiquette. It teaches you how to stay calm within the chaos. That's what you learn. That's why you experience bad things, to see how you react to them. Because if you don't react emotionally to all these influences around you, then it opens you up to a whole nother realm. But if you get sucked into the chaos around you, then it takes away all your power. But your spirituality just gives you the option of staying focused, staying within yourself when chaos is all around you. So that's the difference. To definitely take it seriously. This is nothing to play with. This ain't nothing that you just 1 foot in, 1 foot out. Either you got to jump into the pool or get the fuck on. That's really what it is. You got to be 10 toes down. You can't be dipping in and dipping out and you wonder why you having a chaotic experience. You got to be 10 toes down. You got to be fully invested into this. I manifested, ironically, a way to LA back in 2010 and lived there for a year off the whim. Exactly. Anything is possible. Anything is possible when you put your mind to it, as we know, right? But that's why we live in these times where everything is chaotic. It keeps people from focusing. If you can't focus, you can't manifest. So of course it's going to be chaos and hectic, hectic things happening all around us. Our family and friends are being influenced by higher powers just to throw you off. Just to throw you off because you're the black sheep. You're the one that needs to be thrown off because you're the one who is aware of who and what they are and their potential, while everybody else is walking around like zombies. So they can get influenced by higher entities and work through them trying to stop you from coming up. That's why I can't begin to say how many times I've spoken to people, damn, my mother is on that bullshit, but I live with her. Or, my family is on that bullshit, but I got to deal with them type shit. That's all the time. That's why you got to be internal. You got to be so grounded that your family can't spook you out. You're the very thing that may be a weakness for you must become a strength. Like, I don't care what my own family says. I am walking this path. And if I got to walk it by myself, then I'm walking it by myself. But you got to be built a certain way to have that type of mentality. This is what I mean. It's not for everybody, but this is why it's not mainstream. This will never be mainstream. Spirituality will never be again. There's always been a small percentage of people who have been spiritual. The shamans. This was never this what everybody was doing. This was always the job of the initiates. The people of the temple. This is never a mass thing for the masses of people. We was never on that type of time. It's always been a small few. You know, exactly. Just do that chant all day anyway. So yeah, before you eat, before you sleep, before you smoke, just do the chant anyway, all throughout the day. You know what I mean? To see the effect it has on your life. Because these things work when you work with them. You start to see the effects of when you start chanting You know what I mean? So when you start putting in that work, you will start to see the results. So definitely just say all day if you can. All right. What does it mean if I keep randomly seeing flashes of light from the corner of my eye? You're just seeing into different dimensions. So those flashes of light is like flashes from the fourth dimension or 4D or 5D. So you're seeing flashes. Basically, you can say your astral sight. You're developing your astral sight. You know, so if you want to further develop your astral sight, you just have to pay more attention to your dreams and your astral. Just develop your astral consciousness or your left breathing or your feminine energy. You have to increase your feminine energy. You know, you program your drugs, absolutely. You know what I mean? You always want to be in control of your trips because when you do drugs, they take you on a trip. So you want to control the destination of where you are going, as opposed to it takes you somewhere versus you setting the destination. When you chant, you are setting the destination versus something just taking you wherever it wants to take you. That's the difference. All right. Yeah, what's up, Harmony? Coming in here 2 hours late. You know what I mean? Like we almost about to wrap up. Yo, I am surrounded by people that are constantly going through some chaotic shit. They all come to me with it, and I have always questioned why. Well, now you know why. Now you know why that is. This, trust me, when I say these things, this is actual facts. I'm not making none of this stuff up. It may seem crazy, but yes, you see how you just notice, like, yo, people do come to me with all they bullshit, all they chaos. Why is that? Because you're the black sheep. You know, I mean, it's gonna throw you off if you get sucked into it. Of course, you can give them advice or whatever, but you just don't allow yourself to get sucked into that vortex. That's the difference. You can speak on it, just don't get sucked into that vortex. That's the difference. Some people be, putting all that shit on you, then you get sucked into their vortex. Just, you know what I mean? You got to be able to stay within your own vortex, your own magnetic pull. You have to stay grounded. You know, because trust me, you will be tested. You will always be tested on a daily basis. So that's why there is no days off. There is no 1 foot in, 1 foot out, because you will be tested. Like, okay, you taking this seriously? Okay, let's see if you can handle this. Can you handle that? Can you handle that? You know, you will constantly be tested. So you have to be a person of endurance. You can't be a person. No, it's definitely not your job to help them, especially if it drains you. It's your job to it's your energy on point and to understand your energy and the purpose that you play. You know, you had to develop your spirituality to truly help them, but they may not even want to be helped. See, that's the thing. Some people just want you to wallow in their misery. They don't even want help. They just want somebody to listen to them. They're not going to change their ways. They just want to be heard. They just want to be felt. They're not trying to actually do something about it. So you have a lot of people like that, like you in some bullshit every week, every weekend with a different person. But that's just how some people move. But that's because they have no knowledge of who and what they are, and they don't want to change their lifestyle. So they are subjected to. They pretty much have normalized the chaos. The average person walking around out here has normalized the chaos. So they, I mean, this is just life to them. But for those of us who know that that ain't the way to live, you know what I mean? So that's why we see things differently. Because we're like, yo, we ain't trying to be caught up in the chaos. We are chaotic beings as it is. Just walking around with this skin tone, this fucking chaos. Trust me. You know what I mean? Motherfuckers be crossing the street when I'm walking down the street. Like, I live in chaos, so I don't need to be hearing like nobody else's chaotic moments again, unless there's a purpose behind it and they're actually trying to figure out the origins versus somebody who's just doing it, you know. out of some misery shit, you know. So never get caught up in that misery, or there's people that want to be heard, you know. All right, so yeah, I guess we can make this a solid 2 hours if we even make it there. What number can I chant to simplify or concentrate the Kubira mantra? Well, what does that mantra do? I'm not familiar with what that mantra does, so you have to tell me what that mantra does, and I can give you a number once I understand the meaning of the mantra. Um, I got so sucked into other people's energy that it literally feels like I become them, and it makes me physically sick, because that's what happens. You do become them. You become them on a frequency level. You match their frequency. That's why people do that fuck shit. Oh, we see y'all don't want me to go deep. I'm gonna be exposing all your buddies. All your buddies is gonna be exposed, but you know I'm not really in the business of exposing people, so I try to keep it light. But yeah, people or misery loves company, so people are gonna always try to suck you into their vortex. But you know, be wise. Be wise in who you give your energy to. You may need to cut some people off. You know what I mean? You need to cut off your guts. Maybe you need to cut off your side chicks. Even your main chick, you may need to cut off your main squeeze. See, that's why most people don't be getting nowhere, because they be afraid to cut off the people. You afraid to start a new relationship. You afraid to end that old relationship. You afraid to not be around your family. So that's why people was out here suffering, because they stay around toxic people because they don't know nothing else. So I don't know nobody else but my family out here. You know your family, but you don't know yourself. So how far is your family gonna take you, and you don't even know your own destination? Somebody else is giving you your destination. So how far you expect to get? How solid in your mind do you expect to be? Taking somebody else's, way of thinking. Oh, this is how my parents thought, so they instilled it in me. So either you got to live out their reality, or you got to create your own. You know, Vegas is crazy. Yeah, Vegas is turned up. Vegas is turned, as y'all should know by now. I done showed y'all enough. But I'm not done. I definitely, there's parts of Vegas that y'all ain't even seen yet. I got definitely, Vegas is turned up right now. I can go to the Strip right now. I can go to Fremont. Again, Vegas is the only city like this, where this, what is it? What time is it? It's 3 in the morning. It's still popping. It's still popping in many, 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 many places. I can go to the Strip. I can go to Fremont. I can go to any of the big casinos, and it's fucking popping. People in there getting drunk. People in there fucking looking for pussy. People in there fucking in the hotels. Trust me, Vegas will always be Vegas. Shout out to the West Coast. Shout out to the desert. Shout out to that Western lifestyle. You know what I mean? All my sacred whores, all my prostitutes that's out here getting their cash, you know. And all the gigolos, of course. We're going to keep it even. All the gigolos, you know what I mean? That's keeping the women satisfied out there. All my P's, all my 304s, for y'all who even know that lingo. But we ain't going to get too drawn into that. Overall wealth, mental, physical. So if it's about wealth, mental, physical, and spiritual wealth. So I would say chant the number 369. I would say chant the number 369. So you taking elements of the metaphysical realm, the physical realm, and the spiritual realm. So mental, physical, and spiritual. So you got the number 3 for the mental, number 6 for the spiritual, number 9 for, so you got, let's set it backwards. You got number 3 for the mental, number 9 for the spiritual, number 6 for the physical. So 369. There you go. I love listening to your intelligence. Thank you for sharing. I appreciate you, Sunja. I appreciate you. You already know. I do my best. You know, to be honest as possible. I do my best to be honest. I'm not here to sugarcoat anything. I'm not here to sell dreams. I'm just here to speak reality. You know, the good, the bad, and the ugly. Definitely. I appreciate everybody for, adding on as well. This definitely is a mutual exchange. That's why, again, I appreciate the love. You know what I mean? Again, the likes, the donations, all that, the services, all that. We definitely, it's an equal exchange. So I'm going to keep it coming. Do I take cold showers in the heat? No, not necessarily. No, not necessarily. I mean, I don't mind sweating because it's like I'm releasing all of the detox. When you sweat, it's all this. It's like I'm releasing the things that shouldn't be in my body anyway. So I don't mind the heat too much. I don't mind the detox. Yeah, so that's why you see me on video. I'm just sweating with my shirt off. I'm just wiping it off. You know what I mean? I'm just a detox. I don't mind going through the detox. The heat don't really bother me too much. It's more so the sweat. I be feeling all sticky, but you gotta go through it. You gotta go through the pain. You know what I mean? So it ain't no thing. Go through the pain. People can't lie to you when you reach a certain vibration, pretty much, because you stop lying to yourself. When you stop lying to yourself, then lies don't really be told around you too often because you stop lying to yourself. If you're not lying to yourself, then yeah, people aren't gonna lie to you, or you'll be able to catch it if it is a lie being told. They won't be able to clearly lie to you, in other words, because you got that spiritual discernment. Right? All right. So, again, I'm just speaking reality, but not so much to the point where you can't evolve beyond it. You know, there is no absolute truth. Everything is a half truth. That's why two people can be right at the same time, even though their ideas contrast or oppose each other. That's my whole thing. My whole thing is, again, that's why we're not enemies to the people that think differently, the people that aren't spiritual, the people that don't know who they are. We're not on the other side of that. They exist over there, then it is what it is. We can exist simultaneously without them crossing our paths and we crossing their paths, and we got to get into some type of argument or fight, or it's a us against them. It's a war, and ain't none of that. This is a fight for consciousness. You know what I mean? And we are the warriors for consciousness. So if you're not a warrior, then you don't belong here. You know, spirit helps you to become a warrior in the spirit realm and the physical realm. You know what I mean? Because again, you become like the overseer for other people. Once you take this seriously. Y'all hear that? You know what I mean? Shots is definitely being fired off. Just in case you thought shit was sweet in Vegas. You already know we going in. But like I was saying, you know, it's just, you gotta be a warrior. This makes you a warrior. Or it should. You know what I mean? That's why you see it. You know what I mean? You see it. We see it and we live it. You know? But that's what it is. So definitely much love. I appreciate everybody for tuning in and watching again. You know, definitely feel free to check out the website, asharenu.com. If you need to email me for any type of services, or if you want to join the membership, $5 a month, email me, ash@asharenu.com. Again, the book is still coming out, Seership. You know what I mean? We're gonna have that roll out in August. So definitely look out for that in August. What else we got going on? Of course, we got the daily video. So you're gonna get a daily video. It's either gonna be one video or two videos, but definitely gonna be daily videos. You know. So yeah, y'all just gonna see a lot more of me, a lot more of Vegas. A lot more spirituality, a lot more experiments, so on and so forth. So for those who can keep up, keep up. For those who have a hard time keeping up, then you either got to speed up your vibration or just leave it alone. Because we definitely not slowing down. We got to keep it. We got to keep it in motion. You know what I mean? We got to keep it in motion. You missed everything. That's what I mean. You're gonna have to rewatch it and speed it up. Rewatch it and speed it up. Warrior monk. That's a good way of putting it. Definitely warrior monk. That's a good way of putting it. Definitely. Having those spiritual principles and being able to back it up with spiritual warfare. You appreciate the info, no problem. T-Flex TV. But definitely, all my warriors out there. And this will be the last thing before we get up out of here. You know what I mean? Because we don't have rites of passages anymore. This is the new way of becoming a warrior. You go into that internal, as I should say, rites of passage. The rites of passage is now the internal struggle to overcome your internal struggles. That's the new rites of passages in this time. Because now we're not going out and killing lions and killing leopards and, skinning it and wearing the skin and all that and wearing crowns. We ain't doing none of that no more. The rites of passage is an internal one. You have to learn yourself from the inside out. That is a necessity. That's why the consciousness is the way it is in today's times. Again, when I was coming up, things wasn't like this. When I first was becoming conscious, people were still religious, and I was getting so much backlash for even speaking like this. 10 years ago, I couldn't even speak like this without getting some type of bullshit. But now, this is just everyday life. This is just, I can speak this freely, talk freely, and people can understand and all that. People can benefit from it. But so I witnessed the evolution with my own eyes, before and after. Again, it was time I'm getting into arguments with people for just speaking about spiritual truths that have been proven throughout time. But because it conflicts some person's religious dogma, they feel some type of way about it because that's their lifestyle. But then that's why I'm like, it's not about clashing with nobody else's lifestyle. It ain't about bashing religion. It ain't about none of that. It's just about, for those who can understand this frequency, there's a reason why you understand it. There's a reason why you're here. There's a reason why this resonates with you, because most likely you are the black sheep of your family. You are the awakened one of your family. You are the medicine man or the medicine woman of your family, and you're going to be the one. If anybody heals your family, it's going to be you. If anybody heals your community, it's going to be you. How many of us are doing community work? How many of us, we claiming all this shit? How many people is healing the people around them? You got all this knowledge, you got all this awareness. How come you're not healing the people around you? How many people are volunteering for community centers and all that? People ain't trying to go through all that. And to each his own. You know what I mean? I'm not nobody's judge, but I'm just saying, eventually it expands beyond us. We are here to serve the people, or should be here to serve the people, because who else is doing it? We got enemies out here that wants to destroy the people you love, mentally, physically, and spiritually. You will be the only one that can oppose that force. Who else will oppose? Who else is going to keep people on top of their game? If it ain't you, then motherfuckers is lost. If you don't speak the truth, then motherfuckers is just going to be out here lost, because ain't nobody else speaking no truth. So I definitely want to leave people on that note. This is the purpose we serve. Can't nobody else walk in these shoes. Can't nobody else fulfill our purpose. It has to be us. That's what makes us warriors. We have to be warriors. Sometimes a warrior have to heal. Sometimes a warrior has to kill in order to protect his community and to preserve his community. That's why we going beyond moralism. We going beyond good, bad, right or wrong, positive and negative. We're going about, you do what needs to be done for the people. If it ain't about the people, then you know what I mean? But at the same time, you have to be serious about the work before you even think about any of that. You have to be serious about what you're doing and put in that work. Only then are you qualified to be a healer of the people. You must be qualified, but going through these inner chambers, becoming initiated spiritually. So there is no more initiations. You have to become initiated spiritually. You have to go within and go through your rites of passage. You have to go within to get initiated. You have to go within to learn the secrets. All these things are happening within. There is no more places you can go outside of self to get this real work. So this is coming directly from the land of the eternal, or the wisest place on the planet, which is the human body. The human body contains all of the wisdom of the planet, and before it and after it. The best technology on this planet is us. You just have to know that for a fact. All right. So, somebody's asking me my age. I don't know if I want to reveal that. Oh man, somebody's asking my age. Oh my God. Man, how old do I look? Man, it's a hard question to ask. Well, to answer. We are here to uplift mankind. Well, to uplift mankind, you must uplift yourself first. So before you uplift anybody, you must uplift self. You was bashed by 3 people in the comments 4 days ago for typing something spiritual. In these comments, or are you talking about just somebody else's comments? On my comments? On my video? I don't think I ever seen nobody getting bashed. But yeah, you probably said something motherfuckers wasn't hearing that. They like, we ain't trying to hear that. But you know what I mean? It come with the territory. Everybody's not gonna resonate with what everybody else says. You know what I mean? So you gotta walk your own path. You know. The king or the queen is the servant to the people. But looking at it from the outside looking in, it seems as if the people are serving the king or the queen. But the king and the queen are the true servants because they have a celestial connection, or they have a connection with the occult. So they can do mysterious things. All right? Exactly. You are ageless. Yeah, I prefer that. You know, I'm on my print shit. You know what I mean? I don't think about the past. I don't think about my age. I don't even think about all this stuff. You know what I mean? I just stay focused on the moment and be in tune with the wisdom. You know what I mean? I'm not even thinking about age. I don't ask people how old they are. You know, because you can tell from a person's spirit. I just go off with the spirit. You know what I mean? I ain't concerned with the age. It's just the spirit. It's all about what you've been through. You know, if we can resonate on a spirit level or a soul level, then it is what it is. Oh, you said other comments. All right, yes, that's what I'm saying. You know what I mean? I don't remember nobody bashing nobody. But yeah, you go anywhere else. You will, you know what I mean? This is a sanctuary right here. This is a sanctuary. You go to all these other motherfuckers, you know what I mean? The people in the comment section aren't as, you know, respectable. They will cut you up. So it's only here. This is like the only place you can come where everybody will be respectful because the person in the middle was respectful. Now, if I was on some crazy, chaotic shit, then it would be different, but I'm not on that. So it probably can't go nowhere else, you know, and express your truth without people bashing you. But you know, that's why I created this sanctuary, so you ain't got to worry about all that. So, I'm sorry you had to go through that, but, you know, it just comes with the territory, you know. But that's why you a warrior. You ain't tripping about it. People saying I look 26, 25, 26. You know, y'all not too far off. But you know, but now I have My battery is getting pretty low now, so we got 2 hours. We got 2 hours in, so I'll be back. I'm gonna let the phone charge up. I'm probably gonna go live later, and we're gonna do this all over again. So again, appreciate everybody for tuning in, watching. Check out the website. If you like the video, definitely thumbs up. I appreciate all the support. And I'll be right back at y'all in a couple hours. You know what I mean? Definitely enjoy your lunar eclipse, your red blood moon. For those who in tune, definitely check out the previous videos if you're not caught up yet. And we're gonna get up out of here. I appreciate everybody. You know what I mean? Yeah, take care. Peace, Hotep. Get it in.